Obviously, Frozen Sandlot open, and so folks can go down and enjoy that. Not sure if they have evenings available for the private parties that are available, but you can check with Travis Tafflinger and the folks at Bridges on that, either with their website, calendar or not. I know Kokomo Civic Theater just had their December show last weekend.
Curtain Call has
Curtain Call's got
Christmas Carol this weekend,
and at the Black Box Theater over on Armstrong. So that's always a fun little production. From the kids.
I'm biased a little bit, but it's really cute.
Wrong with that.
Really great. Really adorable.
I know at Ryan Hall, Amanda Duncan has written a little Christmas cabaret show. It's going to be a fundraiser to support CAM, or Coordinated Assisted Ministries.
Got it.
And that'll be Saturday evening. Yeah, outside of that, I know a few of the churches have Christmas concerts on their weekend, so a lot of that stuff's on Facebook or in the community calendar for the Greater Kokomo Economic Development Alliance or CVB. You can go to the link and look at the community calendar. A lot of those are on there as well. So, yeah, probably just a splash of Christmas holiday cheer here and there throughout the remaining weeks leading up to Christmas and New Year.
Love it. Very cool. Okay, well, let's get into the questions that we have today for the show. Like I said, we got quite a few pre-show questions that you guys sent in. Thank you guys for doing that. As well as if you have any questions you're watching live, leave it down in the chat.
We'll get to them.
I will pull those over to my notes and we will go from there. And watch this. I push this fancy button.
Did we already thank our friends at Robert Miller and Son Furniture?
Gosh, see, I'm a debacle. There's a lot going on.
That's all right. Go. No, it's right.
There's a lot going on. Okay, before we get to the questions, let's talk about our friends over at Robert Miller and Son. So the Black Friday sale is still going on at Robert Miller and Son right now, and it's the biggest one they've ever had. 30% off store-wide with some exclusions applying, of course. 40% off in-stock outdoor furniture.
And?
Up to 50% off clearance. Buy 2 Lazy Boys for one low price. Special mattress pricing. And yes, enter to win one of 4 $500 gift cards. So
awesome.
Good luck there. Our friends over at Robert Miller and Son for being the partner here at the Mayor Tyler Moore Show, 1540 East Boulevard, Suite A in Kokomo.
Right off of 931.
Absolutely. All right, let's get into the questions that we have today. First one is from Lacey on Facebook. Why does Kokomo rely entirely on one nonprofit organization for all animal control intake instead of having a dedicated city or county animal control facility? Are there any plans to create a separate municipal intake solution in the future? Also, why does the Humane Society, or when the Humane Society cannot accept animals, does the city have a contingency or emergency intake plan? If not, is the city planning to develop one? Lacey on Facebook.
Yeah, so the Kokomo Humane Society is a nonprofit locally, but they're not the only organization that accepts animals. I think Pals for Paws is still an organization, and I believe there's a few others. Names would escape my mind, but there are a handful of those. But yes, so both the city and county rely on the Humane Society for the intake and shelter and securing as well as adoption of pets. They're for the most part a no-kill facility. The only time that animals are euthanized usually are health issues or out of control aggressiveness and such, and so. Right now, I know that they had a virus work through the shelter, and so they're not adopting others out. They are taking strays, as I understand it, and they had the Purdue Animal Hospital folks in, I think at the end of last week or something, examining all the animals that are in there, and so they're waiting for those tests to come back to see where they are on that. But outside of the city having a standalone, no, there's no plans since the shelter is in place now that both the city and the county do fund the shelter for that. So that's in a sense we contract that out as service. If we created a shelter ourselves. That's additional staff, additional facilities, additional costs and such that would be more and well in excess of what we're currently contributing to the Humane Society. So it would just add to additional city expenses, creating a department and staff and such, which would then affect taxes, and with the excitement that's been built around the trash fee, as well as the increase of fees and taxes with the projects that are in place. I don't know that it would be in the best interest to consider that or look at that. When the shelter does not take those animals, that's when we rely on those few private organizations or even other nonprofit to secure and adopt out as well. But no, I mean, we do not have plans for a standalone city facility or shelter. I know KPD gets called out a lot, but we're relying on the shelter and the services that they provide. But again, without incurring any additional costs with facilities, staffing, and such in excess of what we would be contributing already to the shelter. There's nothing in the works now.
Okay. Peggy on Facebook, why is Kokomo the place where you can commit murders and then get a slap on the wrist or no charges at all? Peggy on Facebook.
Yeah. So I know that stems from frustrations with what some recent cases have come out of the Howard County judicial system. City has no authority or input or involvement with our court system. Our KPD does the investigations, turns those over to the prosecutor, and the prosecutor does it. So, I have a feeling that cases, for whatever reason, are dismissed in many cities and counties and such. But it's unfortunate that lately there's been a few, but can't honestly answer that since we're not one of the judges or attorneys involved in any of those cases.
Gotcha. Okay. Frazier from Facebook.
Okay.
Is Kokomo ever going to get better? Doing what needs to be and not what doesn't. Lower taxes, quit overspending, and get back to reality. Overinflating properties just to get more tax money to throw it away. Kokomo has become a hashtag, not in a good way. How about an answer on these questions? Says Frazier on Facebook.
I guess didn't know that Kokomo was a negative hashtag, unless I know that there's a few individuals or sites that call it Jokomo. And that's fine. Everybody has their opinion, and not everybody's going to be happy with the way things are. But I think with a lot of what we've been doing, we are attempting to make Kokomo better with additional amenities that increases the tax base. As for overinflating properties, city doesn't control that, and really even though the county assessor and township assessors are out assessing those properties, a lot of those are market driven, and so it's based on the sales price. And so with the supply of housing being available, housing for sale being low, that drives up the sales price. And so when properties sell at a higher value than typical, that's usually what the assessed values are based off of. And so it's market driven, not necessarily individually driven. So that affects how taxes are calculated and collected. So continue to work on that as we increase the supply. Hopefully that drives the sales price down or levels that out so that taxes can remain lower or be lowered at that point. But I'd like to think that a lot of what we're trying to do is to make Kokomo better. Always open to suggestions, so shoot me an email at mayor@cityofkokomo.org. Frazier, whatever that is, with ideas or suggestions on what we can be doing that we may not be doing to make Kokomo better. Love to hear it.
Got it. Moore on Facebook, or maybe James was his first name. James Moore or Moore James. I don't know. From Facebook, whatever happened to the rainy day funds? They want to know.
There's still funds available for those purposes. They're typically labeled as rainy day funds, but yes, there are cash surpluses in the event that, like we keep hearing and are preparing for as well, with the potential financing challenges that the recently enacted Senate Bill 1 will provide municipalities across the state, as well as school systems and libraries and counties and such. Our idea or thought is to use that just for that. I mean, when we run into situations where tax revenues aren't where they need to be to meet the cost, and we'll tap into that. So there are balances still available for use in the event of an emergency or rainy days.
I just realized I didn't turn the question banner on. See, I'm not good at this. I'm learning.
No, you're fine.
Have some patience for me. I know there's a lot of people that were upset the question banner wasn't on. No, I'm kidding. Nobody cared. Alice on Facebook, a TNR program. I know Kokomo Community Cats has one, but if the city could fund one through the Humane Society to help with the all the unwanted cats, and a program for dogs too, people can't afford $100 or more to fix their animals. So TNR, I'm guessing, is a program where you can help get your maybe.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar what TNR is, but that probably is for spaying and neutering. So yeah, I mean,
trap, neuter, return.
Trap, neuter,
That's
return.
What that acronym stands for.
Okay. Not sure if the Humane Society has looked into that. I mean, that's definitely an option, especially with the overpopulation, or if they're in the I guess situation they are at times like this, when there's a virus or some issue at the shelter that they can't retain or detain and keep animals for longer periods of time. I mean, so that's something that we could definitely have a conversation with the Humane Society as their animal control officers are out and about.
Okay.
Let's see.
Abby on Facebook.
Okay.
Multiple questions. So we're going to do this piece by piece. Why is the Humane Society, a lot of Humane Society questions. Yeah. Why is the Humane Society our only answer for strays in the overpopulation of animals and nowhere for them to go? The Humane Society is full and can only do so much, as also denies animals left and right. Why is there not an ordinance on spraying and neutering pets? And could you give city workers that are busting their butts the credit they deserve? All the backlash about streets got thrown on the city workers, and I can assure you the ones that are out there in this weather probably weren't happy about being thrown on them. So sorry, that was two questions there. First one, Humane Society, which we kind of talked about earlier in a previous question. Secondly, city workers.
It's just as they work through that virus situation where they're able to receive more, I mean, that hopefully that will take care of that, but there are other organizations that can do that. But as for the city works, I mean, it is unfortunate that the conditions of some of the streets, roads, and alleyways and such after this most recent weather event, that folks took to social media and were very critical of our crews. I know that a lot of times with some of the turnover, we've got individuals that are new in those capacities, and so this may be the first major winter event that they're out plowing. And in some cases, if they're hitting primaries, because I know as much as it came down, I mean, it looks like the certain roads are getting hit multiple times versus others that are only hit once or not at all. And so, and a lot of that is due to staffing and due to just the availability of folks and the traffic patterns on what's identified as a primary, secondary, tertiary, or cul-de-sac. And so they do the best they can all the time. It just, folks don't always see that or recognize it or think that when in actuality, I would like to think that our streets are addressed a lot better than other municipalities, so I would challenge folks to see and compare, but no, I mean, it's unfortunate when folks criticize the efforts of our crews when really they deserve our appreciation and kudos for the work and time that they do put in and the attempts that they make to keep the streets as clear as possible and get to them when they can.
Gotcha. And another thing she wanted to talk about,
Sure.
and the reason I stated last week that domestic violence and mental health isn't taken very seriously in this city is because look at the track record. A lot of people fear taking domestic violence to the court or the police because it's not taken seriously. It's brushed off, or offenders are let right back out to offend again. The judge granted protection order for me against my daughter's dad, but not for my daughter despite the evidence. Why would I need protection and not my 10-year-old? Not to mention she was extremely rude to me during it all. She screams at people in court a lot. So this sounds like a county issue. Mental health individuals with no family or support get swept under the rug with no Medicaid or help to get the resources they need, then thrown into jail for being homeless and struggling on the streets. When will we show more compassion to the needs of our city and take action? Lastly, if you do not have solutions to these answers, who do I write or contact to get the city of Kokomo better results?
Well,
or Abby on Facebook.
I mean, so there are a number of organizations that provide support. So I don't know if the courts aren't directing that. I mean, because I know Mental Health of America out of Lafayette does also serves Kokomo, and so there's availability and resources there. I mean, a lot of things. I mean, it may just be accessibility, but yeah, as for decisions on court cases and different situations like that are outside of the city's authority. But I know there's conversations. I know our KPD officers are doing the best they can too, as they approach folks either on the streets or that are considered homeless with or without situations or mental health issues, are working with 4C and their mobile unit to get folks connected with the resources or arrangements made to get them back to family and friends in the communities where they're originally from, because a lot of them are sent here for supportive services, and when they don't get them or have completed, then that's where they have nowhere else really to go. And so, but I don't think that I haven't heard of anybody being arrested for being homeless. I know that camping ordinance was passed to prevent folks from staying, sleeping, storing items in public areas in the downtown area, as well as along our trails and such. But I think more than anything, those individuals, again, are directed towards resources or arrangements made to get them back to the communities from which they came. So it's a collective effort. As for not getting answers or action from the city of Kokomo, a lot of that comes from resources. So you could contact your state legislators to see if there's additional funding put towards mental health issues, not necessarily just in communities, but in the schools as well, because a lot of that stems in the schools. But that would be one thought, our state legislators, or again, reaching out to the service providers to see what services may be available that folks may not be recognizing.
Okay. Next question is from Sabrina on Facebook. Okay. Code enforcement doesn't have enough resources to handle all the calls they're getting about trashy homes, etc. It's so aggravating. Sabrina on Facebook.
Yeah, and a lot of that too is that code enforcement may be addressing issues, but then when they inspect or investigate properties, notices are given to the property owners, then they've got so many days to respond or to correct the issue, and then the owners oftentimes assure the code enforcement that they need time to clean it up, and so there's that legal process and that we may be working with the property owners themselves, and a lot of it too, once something's written up, it could be a matter of getting either if it's still decent enough out to where there's weed cuts or mowing that needs to be done. Otherwise, if there's trash and such, that then falls upon the street department. It's already, working on our streets and roads, picking up our trash, trying to get limbs and leaves in and such. And so then they've got to schedule in, crews to then go to properties and clean that up. So it's just an unfortunate process that needs to be followed a lot of times that creates that time lag, which frustrates folks. I mean, a lot of folks like to think if I'm going to call and complain about a property and it's being investigated, that it needs cleaned up like within the next 2-3 days. And there's just a process that needs to go through.
Okay. Amara on Facebook, would he consider putting in heated trolley stops, not just for the people riding, but for the after hours for the homeless so they don't freeze to death, especially for those who can't get into any shelters because they're full? Or are there any plans to build homeless shelters in the future? Y'all seem to be concerned with constantly replacing or redoing roads and stuff, but not taking care of every part of the community. That includes the countless homeless people that live in our city, and not just the Kokomo Rescue Mission alone can help everyone.
We have not considered heated bus stops. Obviously, the transit station itself, folks can wait inside there, and that's both heated and cooled in there. But the remote stops, no, a lot of that has to do with obviously the availability of shelters or the lack thereof, and a lot of that has to do with the areas where which stops are made. A lot of times it's just signs because of the lack of availability or easements wise to place shelters within the shelters. There's the additional costs involved with that. But as for the trolleys themselves, we're one of the few communities, if not the only community, that I can think of in the state of Indiana that provides a public transit system that's free to its ridership. We don't charge. There's not an access card. There's not pay to ride and such. I mean, so if there was that introduced, which would create a whole new headache and affect some of the federal funds that we receive for the trolley system, then that would deter a lot of what we're able to do now, making it free and accessible. So hate to have to charge folks in order to have a funding source in to then try to have select heated stations. And even along those lines, where would they need to be or placed? Because a lot of the homeless do seem to congregate more either along the trails or down in the downtown area, where some of those resources or shelters currently exist. So I guess something we can look into, but the long answer short, there's no plans right now for those because of accessibility and funding.
Gotcha. Aaron on Facebook, we have a trolley system. What's next for Kokomo? We have all this money in the transportation budget. How is that helping? I get maintenance, but how much money do we have dedicated to transportation alone? Aaron on Facebook.
Unfortunately, I mean, we're not swimming in cash for the transportation. I mean, the money that we receive goes towards the trolleys, and yes, maintenance of those trolleys and the Spirit of Kokomo buses. So it's not just the trolleys, it's the Spirit of Kokomo buses as well. That does take most of the funding for that, and it is separate outside of the city's general budget, outside of county's general budget. I know the county doesn't directly fund the trolley system, but it's the Municipal Planning Organization, or MPO, that's a joint city-county operation and board that receives the federal FTA funds that goes towards that. And so in order to keep that free to its ridership, and again, not just the trolleys, the Spirit of Kokomo buses, that yes, there's age and disability and medical requirements for the use of the Spirit of Kokomo buses, but those too are door-to-door residents to doctors, shops, and such. So that fleet, as well as the trolleys, is not just the trolleys, does that. And so expanding the routes, is something that we're looking into. That means we would need to potentially purchase another trolley or two, and those are
not cheap.
Not cheap, and trying to keep the routes to an hour's circuit is a challenge as well. So, not swimming in cash with the transportation. A lot of that goes back into those, not just for the maintenance, but for drivers and wages and such, so that it can remain free.
Next question is from Dave on Facebook, which, Dave, I think you asked this last week and we answered it. Maybe you weren't watching, but he says, my question again is, when will Fire Station 3 get a new building? Why is the North End continually overlooked in this regard? A new fire station would be a source of pride to that area of town. So what is the issue?
So
Station 3. Am I making that up? I swear we talked about that last week.
I think,
it sounds familiar.
it might not have been him. It might have been somebody else, unless he's asking, again.
He did. Yeah.
but yeah, Station 3 would be the next one, because that is the oldest. Now that Station 6 is receiving some attention, but the issue with Station 3 is location. It's, as the men and women of the Kokomo Fire Department lovingly say, is that's the last true neighborhood fire station where folks come and go and visit and such. And so its location, they love and appreciate. However, with all the development north, we're trying to decide where the best location may be. And if that's ground that either the city owns or that we need to make arrangements. And so as we complete 6, 3 would get the next attention. So in time, here in the next few years, hopefully we can locate that and get something up there that is acceptable.
Gotcha.
So it's coming.
Before we go ahead on, let's move forward. Let's talk to our friends over at Family Farm and Home. Hey, Kokomo, have you heard the news? Family Farm and Home has just dropped and opened right here in Kokomo. Yes, they've officially moved in the Kokomo Shopping Center in the former Big Lots location at 2136 East Markland Avenue, and they're so excited to serve the Kokomo community. If you've shopped their Peru location before, you already know what a great place it is, and now Kokomo families can experience it too. Family Farm and Home is your one-stop shop for amazing deals on pet and livestock feed and supplies, lawn and garden products, hardware, automotive, clothing and footwear, home heating, and so much more. So make sure you stop by and check out their brand new Kokomo store where hometown values meet unbeatable selection. Family Farm and Home, now open in the Kokomo Shopping Center.
Awesome.
Keith on Facebook, when will 100 East off of Center Road get fixed? It is very bad.
100 East off Center Road. It will receive some attention next year, but with what truly needs to be done with it, and we may get criticized for this too, but we're going to give it some attention to improve it, but what it needs to be totally reconstructed, which is a higher dollar amount than, but we recognize the condition that it's in, and so I'm going to do the best fix that we can to buy a few years till we can get that project into our community crossings grant, our application, here in the next handful of years to truly give it some love. So should get some attention next year.
Audra on Facebook, why didn't every street get plowed? I am from Ohio. Go Blue. And I cannot believe how poorly the roads are taken care of in town. It's really disappointing. It's like the northern part of town didn't get touched at all. It's not right, and it's not safe for anyone. Audra on Facebook.
Okay. Again, goes back to the daunting tasks that our crews have and that do the best they can. I know it seems like that certain streets or roads or areas may not have gotten as much attention, but with the density of some of the neighborhoods, they don't get up and down, all the streets still hitting the primaries and secondaries, and as much and as quick as that came down on that Saturday and spilled over to the Sunday and then freezing, and the traffic that then gets on it, just packs it down. So there may have been, a truck that come over the top with it, but if it was, just skimming the ice, might not have given that impression. But our crews, again, do the best they can when they're asked to consider working overtime for that. We'll, as always, continue to learn from each event and try to do better, especially as with the turnaround or turnover and some of those positions, getting some of these newer drivers behind plows the experience they need.
Okay. Kim on Facebook also had a question about plowing in the Crooked Stick Drive, so like south end of town. So we're some people in the north saying you just leave out the north. Some people in the south part of town saying you don't do the south. Jeffrey on Facebook, when will they actually fix roads for anything in this town? They only put money into downtown, which is a big waste of money, Jeffrey says, or to their buddy's new house on Center Road. Prove me wrong. he says. Also, they only hire one company to do all the work. Can we say corruption? Jeffrey on Facebook.
So, I'm not sure whose buddy's house on Center he may be talking about, but I think, again, with the amount of lane miles that we have to not only pave but plow, our crews do the best they can with what they've gotten, what Mother Nature hands them. And trying to fix other things. If he's got specific things in mind that he's referring to, definitely, again, let me know. I'm not sure what Buddy's house might be. And what was the other? Having one person. Yeah, and if he's talking about road construction, I mean, a lot of times on the larger areas, because that's the only area that appears to only have one company do it. A lot of times they're the only ones that bid, or if they're the ones that bid and because of their volume, they're able to be the lowest, most responsive bid as well. They're the ones that are going to get it. So if you're talking specifically about road and street projects, I mean, yes, E&B does the lion's share, if not all of the larger road projects that we have, just because of size and scope and the lack of additional companies to bid in our area.
Got it. Jeffrey, when are they going to resurface Boulevard from Washington to Home, Markland from 931 to Goyer, and La Fountain from Washington Street to Hoffer? Let's go by one. Okay. Boulevard from Washington to Home.
Would love to do that sooner than later. Again, with that stretch being through there, I know there's just been Band-Aid fixes through there, but that's going to be a community crossings application project, again, of larger size and scope, and because of the stretch. So I would love to do that in the next handful of years if we can. Markland from 931 to Goyer should get some attention either next year or year after. I know we're working with NDOT as well to look at that intersection, especially with the uptick and potential traffic there when Chick-fil-A opens. And so with those modifications done on the east side of that intersection, that'll get some attention here in the next year or two. Again, size and scope determines that. And then he said
La Fountain from Washington to Hoffer.
La Fountain from Washington to, was it Washington to Hoffer?
That's what he's doing.
La Fountain from Washington to Hoffer. This
is a superpower of yours, by the way, to hear street names and know what he's talking about. I lived here my whole life and I can't do that.
Because La Fountain and Washington turn into La Fountain from Washington to, so probably from the split all the way back. That may just be bit and piece through there, because I know we did the stretch up toward Boulevard next to the IUK and American Legion recently. And so those will just, as time, resources, and priorities permit, hit those probably in sections as opposed to the long stretch.
Okay. Carl on Facebook, why didn't they put the guardrails back in between northbound and southbound traffic on 931 when they repaved the road? Mark my word, eventually someone will cross over and slam head on into another car or semi. Can you say huge lawsuit? A lot of people asking if we can say things today. Can I answer this one?
Sure.
That's NDOT. Yeah, the city didn't do that one, right?
Correct.
Got it. Okay.
And the reason for that could be to keep the cost down. Part of it too is aesthetics. But I mean, I've had people mention that before. I'm like, why didn't they put them up? Somebody's going to come across there. I mean, there's more room for air going north or south on 931 without the guardrails than there is going north or south down Washington. I mean, so there's a greater concern of somebody crossing the double yellow line along Washington, heading north or south, and potentially hitting head on than on 931. But I think a lot of that too, they looked at the amount of accidents or mishaps on that southern stretch and saw the lack of numbers, or the low numbers, if any, of vehicles, semis, trucks, whatever, hitting any of those guardrails on the south end. But again, as you mentioned, it was NDOT's decision to take them out and not put them back in. But I guess just in my personal opinion, I'm glad they didn't, because aesthetically it looks a lot better, especially as we slow traffic down and continue to develop retail down through there.
Yep. Rob on Facebook, sidewalks need repaired on South Cortland Avenue. Also, we need more fishing platforms in the reservoir park and repair the existing ones that are there.
Okay. City has a 50-50 sidewalk program, so if there's a certain stretch along South Cortland, you can contact the engineering department. You'd have to get buy-in on any given block, buy-in from, I believe it's 60% of the residents on there, so that everybody agrees to split the cost of the sidewalks all in any given area. So with that, as for the fishing platforms, I know we've had questions or requests for that as well. Those would be requests made to Indiana American Water, which we can, but I know because Indiana American Water controls the reservoir, the waters of it as well. And anyway, so I know they've been less than interested in allowing additional piers or put-ins and such access along the reservoir, but can definitely continue to ask them.
Okay. Alexandra on Facebook, can we get the snow cleared from the street parking downtown, specifically Taylor Street? Well, that might be where she is, I'm guessing. So I'm guessing in like the street parking, there's some snow there.
Okay. Yeah, we can, again, there's the... I'm trying to think if it's the Parks Department, because it's 3 different departments that work together in different areas and locations and such. But yeah, we can see what the possibility can be sooner than later to free up some of the parking in the downtown area, specifically on Taylor. Mm-hmm. Okay. Got folks listening, so hopefully they'll write that down for us.
Yep. Abby is also asking about street plows on the north end. She said they didn't get one truck. Thankfully, it's melting a little bit, but she's asking about that too. So we've talked about that quite a bit.
Did she put in the question, does she have a specific street or just on the north end?
Okay. Yeah, just north end specifically.
So yeah, call, email something with the street in question at mayorofcityofkokomo.org, or call 456-7444, and we can get that over to the street department to see what the may be. But again, a lot of it, if it's ice, either dropping salt, but knowing that it's going to freeze, I mean, can see what attention we can give it.
Okay. Raina was also asking about that. So there you go. Susie, are they going to redo the crosswalks, repave the roads on Apperson between Vale and Jefferson? Susie on Facebook.
Between Vale and says repave Apperson between Vale and Jefferson, replace the crosswalks. I will have to look into that. I'm trying to see or trying to remember or think where those are, but yeah, we can look into that if it's just a matter of painting the crosswalks and after some resurfacing has been done. Yeah, I would assume yes, and it could be waiting until it's warmer to use the paints, but I'll check into it. Apperson between Jefferson and Vale.
Correct. Yep. Okay. Lori on Facebook, can we get someone to build a skating rink / go-kart / arcade indoors? We need something for the juvenile and adults to do in town. It's okay. The connotation of the word juvenile makes me think like only the bad kids. Yeah. But it's like the kids and the adults to do in town that is a reasonable price. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she's probably making reference to the one that's available over in Lafayette. Yeah. I mean, so yeah, Jungle, I mean, if somebody, if there's a developer that's interested in doing that, so we would love to find a way to assist or partner in that. But there's no plans at this point for a city-based project of that magnitude.
Gotcha. In your opinion, what's the best thing that happened in Kokomo in 2025, and what are you looking forward to the most in Kokomo in 2026? From Joanne on Facebook.
Well, if you ask a handful of other people, it's finally getting Chick-fil-A to break ground, and then in 26 having Chick-fil-A open. But that's probably not the most exciting. Having the hotel and conference center move along as quickly and as well as it has in 25 was great. And so having that open officially, both conference center and hotel, two different projected opening dates, but having that in 2026 is exciting. Finally landing a collegiate summer baseball team in 25 and looking forward to the new season and new fan experience with the Kokomo Creek Chubs. That's going to be exciting and can't wait to see that happen. Excited to hear that I know a lot of folks have been watching what's been happening or not happening out at the battery plant, but an indication's been given that they've retooled a few of their lines to produce different battery products as well. And so we're going to see an influx of employees back out at the battery plant. So looking forward to that in 26. And so handful of things.
I learned something. I had a meeting earlier today and I looked like a dum-dum because someone had told me, it might have been you, that one of the new battery types they're building out there are for windmills.
It wasn't me.
Okay, it was somebody else.
Yeah.
But it turns out, if this is true, what they're building are the battery cells for windmills. So the power that the windmill makes gets put into these battery cells, and then you resell those. Yeah, my dumb face, I thought they were making batteries that powered the windmills, and the whole time, like, isn't that counterproductive?
Yeah.
Like, isn't that the point of the windmill? It makes its own, and then I was the idiot when they to put the power that the windmill. So I just told the whole internet there.
Generate the battery inside of it to then power the windmill later when it needed.
I was a dum-dum. Tiffany on Facebook, Chicken and Pickle pulled out of Fisher's because they want to take over existing spaces rather than new ground up construction.
Okay.
Got anyone promoting Kokomo empty commercial spaces? Normally wouldn't promote yet another chicken place, but indoor/outdoor pickleball with a place to eat and drink after, that would be exciting.
Well, if they're looking at facilities that are already existing instead of going ground up, obviously it sounds like they would. If there's outdoor pickleball courts as well, there might be some type of development that would be required. But we've got folks that work with or hear from site selectors from companies, whatever it may be, that are looking for places to develop. And so if the fine folks at Chicken and Pickle want to bebop around Kokomo and try to find a place to call home, we'd be happy to try and work with them on that. I know the city doesn't have, that I can think of, a facility similar to what they would need, but would definitely assist in identifying or working with something. But it sounds like
I think they need a bunch of space.
One. So because we'd have to wait and see. But be happy to sit down and talk with them if they've identified something or need our engineering department to try and locate something that might be suitable.
Tell you what. If they were not against doing new construction, that'd be a sweet spot out near Championship Park, like something like that out there. I think would be really cool.
Yeah.
NJ on Facebook, not a question, but good to see you on We Care this weekend.
Hey,
you did good.
It's a lot of fun.
And always nice to see the administration support a great cause.
I was honored to do it. It's always a lot of fun.
The timing of this next question was not planned.
Okay.
Central Indiana Severe Weather Response Team on Facebook. Why is it he has time for starring in theatrical plays, but no time for addressing the crises within the city?
Okay. Well, I don't do.
What are we doing right
theatrical, things. And I guess
was that a We Care reference
during the day? I don't know, either that or because I'm assisting with this production on Saturday. With Cam, I've been in a few productions with Children's Curtain Call Theater, but I'm probably not the only elected official, or at least mayor, that has interests or hobbies or the opportunities to do other things. But I work around that schedule to make sure that I am doing what I can with the folks on my team in various departments to address the crises that we need to. So,
okay. Let's see. The next question is from Chris. I want to meet the Grinch who came to the Christmas parade.
In costume Chris, or out of costume?
I'm thinking in costume.
Yeah. Well, he can message. I mean, I can find out, but yeah, I have to find out where he may be next. Don't know if he'll throw the costume on just to do a meet and greet, but you never know. You can try and get him connected. Okay. He did a great job.
Angelina on Facebook. Is there any update on the Kokomo Soccer Club for the spring season?
Right now, there's still availability for fields out at the Kokomo, at the Wildcat Soccer Complex. They're at Berkeley and Markland. We're in the process of getting pricing for an irrigation system to be installed, because that's the issue with the existing fields as well as potential fields that we'll be creating or installing is irrigation. And so we're getting pricing on that. That'll be done hopefully early spring so that we can get things seeded. But right now, we're also looking for the potential option at another fields just for the spring season, because with what we're wanting to do with seeding and irrigation and such, hopefully would have a good foundation for the late summer or fall season. So right now, it's the Wildcat Soccer Complex, maybe one or two remote sites just for the spring season until we can roll into late summer and fall.
Okay. This is one of the silliest questions we've ever received in the many years of the show. Austin on Facebook. Can he make my hotel cheaper for when I come back for Christmas?
I can't make it cheaper, but be happy to maybe have a conversation with the manager at one of the hotels that you might want to see if they'd be able to.
What are we doing here?
You
don't need to talk to the hotel manager. This guy he's trolling. He's trolling this Austin guy. You know, a mayor can't cheapen hotel room costs. What are we doing? Michael on live chat. Lots of cities have instituted urban bow hunting seasons. I just had 8 deer run through my backyard and nearly hit one almost every single morning. Is this something Kokomo has ever considered?
Not that I'm aware of. An urban bow hunting season. So
it scares me.
Yeah.
Just walk around my neighborhood. There's bows and arrows flying out. What is this? Game of Thrones? I don't know if that actually makes sense. I never watched the show.
Would not be a good time to be a deer.
That's interesting, though. Is that a federal, like just hunting seasons and laws?
Yeah, there's specific.
Where does that fall under?
Yeah, I believe through the DNR. So I think
DNR makes sense.
The state sets, I don't know if it's the state or federal, because I'm sure that there's different seasons for certain gaming, across the country. So I would assume, because I'm not sure, that it would be the state DNR that sets the specific seasons for hunting different game. But having that type of hunting inside of city limits,
a neighborhood.
Yeah,
I'm assuming they're in a neighborhood. I guess I shouldn't have assumed.
But yeah, I'm curious now if he says that other communities have an urban bow hunting season.
I'll read this next question and I'll do some research.
Okay.
Rob on live chat. This is the last question today. What are you going to do about the people begging at intersections? I had someone approach me the other night on the driver's side, standing in the intersection. He was pecking on my window and stayed there until the light turned green and I drove off. They were getting more and more aggressive.
Yeah, if they're outside of the lanes of traffic, right now there's nothing that can be done. There's no ordinance or law against panhandling. Now, when they become a safety hazard like that or become too aggressive, then authorities can be called. So again, call 911 and report it, that someone's approaching the vehicles or walking into the roadways and creating a safety hazard or even nuisance. Or I've mentioned this before too, if you've got the City of Kokomo 411 app, you can submit a tip or report on that, and that gets monitored daily and throughout the day. So that'd be a good way to identify or to report where someone may be and may be aggressive as well. So, but right now, unfortunately, no ordinance in place against panhandling.
So I found urban bow, another name for them. They were previously called urban zones for deer. It's called deer reduction zones.
Okay.
And it says on the Indiana website, they're just only in designated only areas only. So I don't know if we could look at.
So is it through the
deer reduction zone? So Howard County. Yeah, this is through the DNR. Yeah. Okay. I think so. Indiana DNR. Yeah. Yep. So it looks like the closest is Tippecanoe allows it. Hamilton allows it. Madison. Okay. I'm guessing that's what that read. Yeah, deer reduction zones is what it's called.
Urban or suburban.
So I don't know, but even that, I don't know if that's the DNR's decision or that's something like the county or the city could declare. Because I'm guessing county, because these aren't specific. These are county names, not city names. So I'm guessing that's a county decision.
Yeah, and so on that map, the orange or whatever,
I'm guessing so.
But the green means there's not.
Yeah.
So,
you ever went deer hunting?
I have not.
Me either.
But yeah, I noticed that Marion County was one that allowed it.
That's interesting.
That's very interesting.
I don't know. We got more research to do there, but. Okay. Those are the questions we had for the show today. Thanks for sending those in. Thanks for those live questions as well. Really appreciate it. Yep. If you have any questions for next week's show, just let us know. Leave it in the chat here, as well as we, post something on Mondays earlier in the morning on multiple different platforms on Facebook and social media and the internet, where you can leave your question there, as well as you can always contact us through our website, or you can email bree@thekokomopost.com. That's bree@thekokomopost.com. She will make sure I get those questions to me to have for the show.
Or mayor@cityofkokomo.org.
Well, I guess, talk to this guy. Put me out of a job. I don't need to be the middleman. You can just talk straight to him, Okay.
But we love him here, and because it's an opportunity. You may be asking something that somebody else may be thinking of or thought, oh, man, I did always wonder about that. So
sure.
Take advantage of the Kokomo Post's willingness to allow me to come on each week and answer questions.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
So thanks you guys for watching today. Mr. Mayor, do you have a dad joke for us?
We finally got our Christmas tree decorated over the weekend.
Congrats.
Had been putting it off. However, a few of the ornaments fell and the dog ate the decorations.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he ate a couple of the decorations. Now he doesn't bark. You know where I'm going?
Maybe.
Yeah. Apparently he's got tinselitis.
Tinselitis. Oh, no, not tinselitis. I heard that's the virus that was going through the Humane Society. So, all right. Thanks for watching this episode of the Mayor Tyler Moore Show. We'll be there next week again for you, Monday, 3:30. Have a great week, Kokomo. We'll see you soon.
See you, Kokomo.